Welcome guys, in this video we're gonna talk about slope, what steepness means about a line, 4 different kinds of lines and how to find their slope. We're gonna also talk about how to find the slope analytically and graphically. So let's get started. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube videos. Alright, so first we're gonna start by defining what slope means. Slope means how steep a line is. It's a measure of how steep is. So basically it's a measure. For example, a line that this is your x and y axis, so a line that goes up, this is positive slope because the line is going up, is going to the right and going up. So this will be a positive slope. So a line that goes like this is steeper because look, it's still positive, but it goes steeper. It's steeper than this one. That means that it's a larger slope. So the larger the slope, the steeper the line is. Now let's look at a negative slope. What kind of line has a negative slope? So if you have a line that goes downward like that, then this has a negative slope. And it's also the steepness is also the same way. The steeper the line is, and it is going downward, the magnitude of the slope is also larger. For example, this one is less steeper than this one, so this is still negative, but this will have a smaller slope than this one. Now we have two more kinds, so let's go to the next one. When you have a horizontal line, you have your x here, your y here, you have a horizontal line, you can see that the slope is always the same if you pick 2 points. We're gonna find out why we pick 2 points. Remember, when we draw a line, we always pick 2 points to graph it. So when we have slope, we need 2 points to find the slope as well. So this one, notice we have we have 2 points. So this will be x1, y1. This will be x2, y2. This is the first point, the second point. So to find the slope, you need 2 points. So the slope of a horizontal line is always, if you look at the formula, it's always going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. X1 and x2 can change, but y2 in a horizontal line is always the same. So for example here, let's say this is your y is 2 here. Oh, 2 is here, 2 is here. That means that this is 0. That means that the slope of a horizontal line is always 0. I'm going to talk more about it. So remember, a horizontal line is always, the slope is 0. Now the last kind of line that we're going to look at is going to be a vertical line. You have your x here, your y here, you have your line. This one is always undefined, and you're gonna see why. That means that the slope doesn't exist. Slope is not. So slope doesn't exist. You're gonna find out why. I'm gonna explain to you more about it. Okay, so let's get to the examples. So the way we're gonna solve these problems is we're gonna solve them numerically and graphically. So we're gonna have a line just to so you can learn how to find the slopes graphically and numerically. Let's say here is 0, -2. You have y is here, your x is here. You have 0, -2, and you have here 2, 0. Okay, so let's trace a line. Notice what is the sign of the slope? The sign is positive, negative. So this kind is going up. So that means that the slope is positive. Okay, so slope is most textbooks use the letter M for slope. So slope, M equals slope, because it's a measure. So we're gonna give it a name. We'll give it a name M. And a slope is graphically is the rise over the run in all cases. So we pick 2 points. Remember, when we graph a line, we have 2 points. When we do the slope, it's also 2 points. So the rise over the run. So that means that we go up. We pick 2 points. So to find the slope, you can pick any 2 points on the line, as long as they're different, and you're gonna find your slope. So I'm gonna pick this point and this point because they are given in the graph. You're gonna notice that your problems are also gonna give you 2 points. Okay, so I'm gonna pick this point from here because it's positive. I'm going to start going up. So the rise is what? Here. This is the rise. Rise. And from here to here, because this is where, so I go to go to this point, I go here and here. That means that this here is the run. So rise is how many units? Here's -2. That means that it is 2 units. 2 units going up. So that means that it is equal to 2 over the rise over the run. And how many units from here to here going to the right? Run is horizontally. Rise is vertically. Run, we also have 2 because look, this is 2. From here to here, we got 2 units. So that means that 2 over 2 is 1. So the slope of this line is 1. But now we're gonna find it numerically. Sometimes we cannot do it. The problem doesn't give us graphs, so we have to find it numerically. How do we find it? There is a formula for it. So the slope is gonna be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, where y2 is your second point and y1 is your first point. Y means the y value, x means the x value. So here this will be your, let's call this one x1. It doesn't matter which one it is, but you have to pick and don't change them. So let's call this one x1, this one y1, x1, I'm sorry, x2 and y2. Now all we do is plug these values into here. So what is y2? Is 0. Minus y1 is what? Minus 2. Minus 2 over x2 is 2 minus 0, because that's your x1, minus 0. Minus is positive, so this will become 2 over 2, which is 1. It gives us the same value as that we found it graphically. So that checks out. That means that we have the right answer. All right, let's go to the next example. We're going to find a negative slope. So we're going to pick 0, 2. and we're gonna pick 2, 0. Remember, trace a line, we need 2 points, so we put a line through them. Okay, so let's pick, this one will be our x1, y1, x2, and y2. Remember, first we're gonna do it graphically. We're gonna do m equals rise over the run. Okay, rise, remember, here we have a negative slope. Remember, this is negative slope because the line is going downward. You can see it's going downward. So we have to, instead of going up, we'll go down to this point. So we're gonna go from here to here, and from here to here to go to the other point. So this will be your rise, and this here will be your run. So rise, remember, going downwards, that means that your rise is negative. You're going 2 units down. So that will be -2 over, how many from here to here? 2 units. We're going from here to here is 2 units. So we put the run is 2. So -2 over 2 is -1. So we have indeed we have a negative slope, -1. So that solves it graphically. But now let's solve it analytically, which is with the formula. So we have y2 minus y1. I recommend you always write the formula so you remember it. So this would be y2 is here, is 2, minus I'm sorry, y2 is not here, this is y1. So y2 is here, so that would be 0 minus 2. 0 minus 2. And then it will be your x2 is here, 2 minus 0. So that would be 0 minus 2 is -2. 2 minus 0 is 2. So -2 over 2 is -1. And that solves the same answer, which is good. We find out that we have the right answer, -1. And it confirms that we have a negative slope. So now let's go to the next case. The next case is when the slope is horizontal, when the line is horizontal in the slope, and we're gonna find out what the slope is. And this works out for any horizontal line. Let's say this is horizontal line. We're gonna pick this point here and this point here. So this point is gonna be 0, 2, and this is gonna be 2, 2. Notice here the line is not going downward or going upward. That means that it's flat. That means that you're not rising upwards or going down or rising downward. So that means that this is flat. That means that the rise is 0 because we don't have any steepness. It's flat. So that means that m rise over the run is equal to 0 over. So how many units going from here to here? 2 units. So that means 0 over 2. 0 over any number is, except 0, is 0. That means that the slope of horizontal line is always 0. Now we're gonna solve this. Now we're gonna prove it that that's the case. So remember, the slope formula is y2 minus y1 x2 minus x1. So let's call this one x1, y1. Remember, you can pick this one x1, but it's better if you can pick whatever you choose, as long as you stick to it. So it will be x2 and y2. So what is y2? Is 2 minus y1. y1 is 2. What is x2? 2 minus x1, which is 0. So we have 2 minus 2 is 0 over 2 minus 0 is 2. And notice we have the same quantity. 0 over 2 equals 0. That means that a horizontal line is 0. The slope is always 0. Okay, now we're gonna go to the last case. The last case is when the line is vertical. So we're gonna look at it and we're gonna find out why the slope is undefined, always undefined for a vertical line. So this is your axis, you have your y and your x. Let's call this one the line. Let's pick this point here, 2, 0, and let's pick this point here, 2, 2. Let's pick this this will be your so this will be your y. So let's pick this one, will be your x1, y1, x2, and y2. Alright, so a slope is always going to be rise over the run for a line. Okay, rise, we're going from here to here. Rise, here to here. So that means we're going two units, rising 2 units. But what about the run? The run is always stay at the same place because we don't go here nor here. We don't go to the left or to the right. So that means that the run is 0. Whenever we have a quantity over 0, it's always called undefined. That means that it doesn't exist. Undefined. So the slope is undefined. Undefined. Okay, so now let's do it. Let's do it analytically. So remember, the slope is always going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So it better give us the same thing. So y2 is 2 minus y1 is 0. So 2 minus 0 over x2 is 2 minus x1 is 2. So we have the same quantity. 2 minus 0 is 2 over 2 minus 2 is 0. So this is undefined, the same thing. It doesn't exist. So we don't have a slope. So the answer is undefined. So now we see why the slope of a vertical line is undefined. It's not, it doesn't exist. So you can put it doesn't exist. Okay, so we conclude that there are 4 different kinds of situations for the slope. One is when you have a line going upwards, a line going downwards, a line going horizontally, and a line going vertically. They have different kinds of slope. Going upwards means that the slope is positive. Going downward means that the slope is negative. Horizontal, that means that the slope is 0. And going vertically is undefined. So this concludes my video. I hope you enjoy it and you learn a lot. And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. It helps create these amazing lectures. Thank you very much.